Good afternoon, everyone. So, topic of conversation today, stablecoins. Of course, how could we not do a video about stablecoins? Tomorrow is the epic release of Ripple's stablecoin, RLUSD. Now, a lot of the questions really focus around what is a stablecoin. You do a quick search on Google, you're going to get a lot of results. You go to YouTube, you're going to watch a lot of videos. So, how do we condense this? Well, I'm actually going to implement here into this video Whiteboard Crypto. He's a young guy who's done some videos in the past that I've really enjoyed. He breaks things down with visual elements that's really easy to understand. So at the end of this quick little talk here and intro, you'll be able to watch that video. Now, that video is still a couple years old. So the reason I am preempting it is really to kind of kick off, well, not really what has changed, but how does the release of Ripple's stablecoin tomorrow differ from the typical norms of stablecoins we have seen in the past? Examples like Tether, USDC, different things that have come out, DAO. So there have been cryptocurrencies created, obviously meme coins, token coins, everyone's familiar, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and so on. A stablecoin is technically a utility token that is backed by fiat currency, backed by the monetary currency of the country it is issued. So, for example, USDT and Tether have been backed by the United States dollar, which translates to a rough price of about a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning if you were to put money onto an exchange and you wanted to buy a stablecoin like USDT, you can go in, add some capital, purchase the currency, purchase the crypto, and now you own that stablecoin. And $1 equals $1. Pretty easy transition. It's a very simple transaction. So the question is, why would you do this? What is the purpose of a stablecoin? If it really is just value 1-for-1, then why would you spend your money buying it just to hold it if it's not going to go up in value? This goes back to the origin behind why crypto was invented in the first place, going back to the origins of Bitcoin. Now, I've harped on this many times in our private Facebook group, which of course anyone is free to join, but we just do have some questions to kind of vet you. It is Robcat Crypto, ROBKAT Crypto on Facebook. Obviously, if you're looking at this on YouTube now, you are subscribed to the channel, we hope. But we talk about topics like this. Again, why was Bitcoin created? It was not created as a speculative asset for people to buy and hold and make money with, right? The purpose of Bitcoin was to change the way our banking system and financial system in this country worked because it was corrupt. It could easily be duplicated. I mean, the federal government could just print money out of thin air. And because they could do so, they would devalue our currency. Now, this historically wasn't a problem when you're talking 100 years ago, because as you might know, our dollars used to be backed by gold. So if a dollar was backed by gold, that could mean that you could technically go to the government and give your money back and say, I want to exchange it for gold. That actually was how things were done. Now, we get into war times, we get into economy changes, we get into presidential changes. When the Fed was created, we took ourselves off of the gold standard, which just meant that the government now had free and carte blanche space to print currency. And ever since then, the value of our money has been worth less and less and less over time. So if you think about the transactions, right, if you were to take your dollars and go over to Europe and you wanted to have a nice vacation, well, right now it's actually going to be quite expensive because the value of our dollar sucks in comparison to the euro or the yen or whatever country you may be going to. So that conversion means it's going to cost you a hell of a lot more than it did many years ago. So this is a problem. It's a problem of fiat currency. It also is a problem of just the way our government controls what you can and cannot do with your money. For example, if you owe the IRS some back tax money, they can shut down your savings account and your checking account. If you owe money to someone or an entity, if there's ever a lawsuit formulated or you owe child support, What can they do? Garnish your wages, right? They can actually take money before you have access. So in essence, the government really does have more control over your money than you think, especially if it's in a traditional bank. So that's led a lot of folks to keep money in cash. And cash, as you may know, is being phased out. There's a lot of places you go, they don't accept cash. You go to state parks nowadays, they don't accept cash. There's a lot of places in New York and California, they don't accept cash, even at restaurants and things. It's a weird, slow roll phase out, but that is the way they want this to go. Now, what's going to replace it? Potentially a government cryptocurrency that will inevitably be tracked just like everything else in life. We call this a CBDC, and everyone really who's in the crypto space is, of course, naturally against it. But Bitcoin was designed to be a peer-to-peer system, meaning you can exchange a digital currency with somebody else electronically, and you could also verify that that transaction was valid, right? Again, not to do a whole deep dive on Bitcoin, because that can be another video, but the purpose of talking about this, or at least making sure you're aware, is to understand cryptocurrency at its core and why it was originally created was to change the financial system of how we all interact with one another and to be more sovereign, to have more control yourself. So a stablecoin is a way basically to get out of the traditional banking system. It's a way to take capital, cash, your money, your hard-earned money, and to be able to transition it to a digital version of that dollar without it being devalued, right? So now you have a digital dollar you can spend online and do with whatever you want. Buy Bitcoin with it, sell Bitcoin, change it back into the digital currency, stablecoin. So why is this a huge deal now? Well, multiple stablecoins have come out over the years, and some of them have done better than others, meaning collectively they've been adopted over others. Some actually pay you a better APR or percentage by having your money in there. So you think about it like the bank gives you about a nickel for every $1,000 you have in there every year. Well, stablecoins are now going to adopt better APRs, maybe 3, 4, 5%, just to have your money sitting there. Because it's backed by the US currency, it's considered safe. It's also something that our government may actually start to use when transferring a lot of money overseas. So this is something now that is going to be regulated. Again, the people who are hardcore crypto enthusiasts, the Bitcoiners like myself, who have been there since the early days, maybe not the actual beginning, but the early days, we've been real heavy in Bitcoin for such a long time because of the concept of what it's hopefully going to do. It's great that it's speculative and can make money by investing, but in reality, we didn't get into it to invest and to make money. We got into it to get out of traditional banking, to get away from the prying eyes of the government. So Bitcoin itself was designed for a very different purpose than what it's used for today. Stablecoins are one step closer to being a government-regulated asset that can be used virtually. So it's something that hardcore Bitcoiners probably don't jump into. And myself, I have no intention of buying any stablecoins. But if you are someone who, especially like third world countries, or maybe the government does control what you can and cannot spend money on, this is a really good way now to get online, have a digital asset. Again, still a way to tangibly interact with things online, to be able to exchange it into different cryptos or currencies very easily, but to be able to have your money accessible just by a smartphone or a computer. So you don't have to worry about keeping lump sums of cash around or buying gold bricks or whatever it is everyone else keeps doing nowadays to protect their assets. So stablecoins do have value for certain individuals. They also have a real strong value for like enterprise relationships, large agreements. This is really where Ripple's release of RLUSD, I think, is going to make the biggest impact. You know, companies like Western Union being able to transact currencies across the planet within seconds for fractions of pennies instead of paying an intermediary third company that takes 10%, which is traditional nowadays because of the electronic transfer of those goods, people involved, businesses involved, and so on. So this is just a much better way of having a digital monetary network that's faster, cheaper, more efficient, more reliable that the world can adopt. So Ripple's their stablecoin just got today approved. So by tomorrow, you should start seeing it on exchanges. And the correlation is it may have an effect on Ripple's, obviously, coin or their token, XRP. A lot of you folks are holders of XRP. A lot of us since the origins. I've been an XRP Army member since about 28 cents, I think was the first time I was buying XRP. So I've been buying it when it was 20 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents. I'm still buying it now that it's $2.50. But because of this network now with Ripple, Ripple may just inevitably become such a bigger company and have a much bigger asset class now of adoption that you may see a lot more emphasis on the XRP coin, which could easily send this up a lot higher. Now, we shouldn't speculate specifically because XRP has already 5x'd in the last month. In case you didn't notice this, only about a month ago, early November, I believe it was around 54 cents. So we're sitting in good spirits right now. Everybody's making a lot of money. Everyone's super happy. So what could this news mean? It could definitely send the token higher. It could also just not necessarily do anything at all for a long time. But the good and positive thing is XRP and its company Ripple, they are in talks with our government, which is now going to be pro-crypto starting in January. We now have a incoming FDIC chair who's pro-crypto. The new head of the SEC is pro-crypto. And we have a president and vice president both owning multi-millions of dollars in crypto. These are all good things. But the release of RLUSD tomorrow should most certainly affect us in a lot of positive ways overall in terms of the globe. Just don't feel like it's an asset you need to buy as something to hold and speculate on because that's just not how it works. Anyways, folks, thank you for listening to that ramble. Hopefully it made a lot of sense and answered some questions for you. Definitely comment and like and share this video with anyone who's getting into crypto for the first time, asking questions about stablecoins. Feel free to join our private Facebook group, which I'll have a link to in the description below. Have a wonderful day, everyone. We'll talk soon.
What if there was a way you could buy a cryptocurrency that was basically cash, meaning it didn't change value, but it was still transferable and tradable as a crypto? Given that there's a white plumber's van across our road for 3 days now, we do want to say that this video was made for education and entertainment purposes only. Anything you do outside of this video is on you. We just want to help you make the most educated decisions. Welcome to Whiteboard Crypto, where we explain the topics of cryptocurrency using analogies, stories, and examples so that you can easily understand them. We usually make a joke about it being so simple that your grandparents could understand it, but we're running out of ideas. So today we want to explain what stablecoins are and how you can best use them to leverage your crypto trades. First off, what is a stablecoin? A stablecoin is technically a utility token built upon another coin's blockchain. If you don't know the differences between what a coin and a token is, you should definitely check out our video on that topic. But the entire goal of a stablecoin is to create a cryptocurrency that isn't volatile and doesn't change price. Stablecoins, they offer the convenience, privacy, and security of crypto while offering the stability and trust of fiat money. Just like here at Whiteboard Crypto, where we try to offer the best of both worlds. Education about crypto, and entertainment using stories and examples. That way you're not bored through the entire video. By the way, if you haven't already, you should click that like button because it helps keep our motivation to create more videos stable. A stablecoin is pegged to the US dollar and should always equal $1, theoretically. Bitcoin, the first cryptocurrency, was actually created to be used as a store of value. However, since it's not widely adopted and there aren't very many regulations on it yet, the price fluctuates a lot. So much so that it is classified as a speculative investment. So what if you want to store money using crypto technology, but you don't want to risk your investment with the price fluctuations of crypto in today's world? Well, you can use a trusted stablecoin. Before we get too deep into stablecoins, you first need a refresher on the differences between a centralized exchange and a decentralized exchange. A centralized exchange is an exchange that is owned by one entity, like Coinbase, but they allow you to buy and sell cryptocurrencies. Since they are a company, they are technically regulated by the government that they answer to. On the other hand, a decentralized exchange is an exchange that is not run by a company. Instead, they are ran by code. Changes to the exchange only happen when the code is changed. And due to their decentralized nature, a government cannot regulate, control, or even shut them down like they could do to Coinbase. Using stablecoins, you can trade back and forth from Ethereum to a stablecoin, from that stablecoin to Bitcoin, from that Bitcoin back to another stablecoin, whenever you want using a decentralized exchange. This way, you don't have to pay as many fees, you don't have to wait as long, or you don't have to worry about the government tracking or canceling your transactions as if you would have to do as if you used a centralized exchange. Now, this is actually a really good advantage of stablecoins. Let's say you purchase 100 Bitcoins for $100. Bitcoin then goes up to $10,000 per coin. So you sell 50 Bitcoins for $500,000. So you trade 50 of those Bitcoins to DAI or USDC, which are stablecoins, for $500,000. And then you hold it when you can then buy back at a lower price. It's almost like a cryptocurrency savings account. Stablecoins are also beneficial when investing on platforms like Aave or Compound, where you can actually earn interest on your crypto assets because you don't have to worry about the price fluctuations. 20% APR in Ethereum does not matter if Ethereum drops by half. However, 20% APR on your USDC stablecoin is delicious. Moving on, we're going to move into some technical stuff. How do stablecoins work? Well, mainly they work in two different ways: collateralization or through algorithmic mechanisms, also known as smart contract manipulation. Those were a lot of big words, but we're going to break it down for you. First off, fiat collateralization means that each coin is backed by something. In most cases, that is $1. In some, though, it's other countries' currencies like the euro or even gold. Tether is in fact one of the most major companies that released their USDT stablecoin using fiat collateralization. Now, there are some rumors that they do not have $1 for every USDT that they have minted, kind of like there's rumors like you haven't subscribed yet, but we'll get onto that later. The pros of a fiat collateralized stablecoin is that they are quite stable, much more than the alternative. However, they do have problems. The first is that the money required to put up for each USDT cannot be invested. This could mean millions of dollars for that company that are not earning interest. Another problem is someone at the company could embezzle or steal a bunch of that collateral. And one last problem, specifically that Tether faces, is that it's very difficult to prove that you own the total amount of collateral. Let's move on to the second method, because as an alternative to the fiat collateralization method, some stablecoins are controlled by smart contracts. Some people call this algorithmically pegged stablecoins. Now, the benefit of this method is that it is very easy to audit. You just take a look at the smart contract code. Another benefit is that there's no physical assets to steal. However, some of the problems can seem much worse. Smart contract controlled stablecoins are usually much more volatile, simply due to how they work. What they do is they must manipulate the supply of their coins to adjust the price. Now, the algorithm differs among each stablecoin, but there are three main algorithms. We may actually make an entire video about these three specific algorithms. One changes the amount of coin in your wallet each time that you check it so that the value stays roughly the same, $1. The second system uses a money printer and a bond reward system to adjust the price to $1. A third is very similar to the second, however, it uses something called coupons. Again, you should click that subscribe button if you haven't already and turn on notifications because we will be coming out with a video specifically on these three algorithms and how they work. Moving on though, how do you buy a stablecoin? In short, stablecoins are bought and sold on exchanges, both centralized and decentralized. It's very easy to buy Tether or DAI or USDC on a centralized exchange like Coinbase or Gemini. Another method is you could buy something like Ethereum on Coinbase, transfer it to your private wallet, and then use a decentralized exchange like Uniswap and trade that ETH into a stablecoin. Now it's time to be a little more pessimistic around the topic of stablecoins. While stablecoins do have good traits around them, there are a few things that you should think about before fully ditching your savings account and tossing all your savings into a stablecoin. First is the lack of insurance. When you put your money into a bank, savings, or checking account, it is actually insured by the government, at least if you're in the USA. Some banks are FDIC insured, meaning they'll repay up to $250,000 worth of money that is stolen or lost from the bank to you. Stablecoins do not have this advantage yet. If a company that started and is operating that stablecoin goes bankrupt, then you'll most likely lose all of your investment and be left empty-handed. Secondly, we have to bring back up the collateralization issue. Remember how we said that there were rumors that Tether may actually not be backed by true cash? If they aren't, and that scares people, the price could fluctuate a lot. It could even cause it to be unpegged to $1 because Tether is only worth what people think it is worth. And right now, that is $1. If the belief changes, then the value changes. So coming to a conclusion, stablecoins are a great advancement for cryptocurrencies at the current moment, and we're excited to see where they go from here. If you're putting your money into them, we recommend to be cautious, and as always, do your own research. As we end this video, we want to thank you for watching this video. We hope that you enjoyed it. We really hope that you learned something, and most importantly, for the YouTube algorithm, we hope to see you next time.